Looks like we got a little bit of a breaking news right now. It involves this guy, um, Mike Bloomberg, and his $52 billion pot of gold that he has used to gain relevancy into this primary. And more than that, as long as, we've already seen that he's throwing piles and piles of cash into the process. But now things are changing on the side of the DNC, where they're midway through the primary, they're altering their debate criteria. Now, for those of you that have been following along, you're pretty familiar that there's been a debate, and for the debates, there's been a polling and an individual donor threshold. Now, the change that is being made is that the new criteria is going to eliminate that individual donor threshold and rely solely on the polling. Now, if you're somebody like Mike Bloomberg who doesn't have that individual donor base or that grassroots base behind you, and all you have is the polling, that's great for you. Now, all of a sudden, you get yourself on a debate stage. Um, And you have to wonder why, if people have before, or the candidates have before, tried to get things like a climate change debate, or even Cory Booker trying to alter the criteria, and the DNC had stayed strong on they're not gonna go and alter the process in that way. Why they're doing it for Bloomberg? And one of the theories that is going around, and it seems like it has some kind of merit to it, is Bloomberg actually gave the DNC $300K before he entered the 2020 race. Now, for anybody that was following things back in 2016, we know that the DNC has been in financial trouble, and in 2016, the 2015 cycle, the Clinton campaign was really. Well, I mean, they were bailing them out of their financial problems that they were in, and so they to some extent you can say that the case is that the DNC is hurting for money, and Bloomberg, opens up his wallet before he enters the race, and then now you have these rules changes in his favor, and it's like Tulsi's saying here in her tweet, and it seems a lot like there's some credence to it. Billionaire Mike Bloomberg just bought the DNC, and I mean, what can you say when you have that kind of correlation? And for what it's worth, which to my in my estimation is not really all that much, but still, Tom Perez is saying that there's not going to be rules changes, but I think this is in regards to another alteration that is circling around, that they're attempting. The DNC party leadership is trying to get superdelegates back on the first ballot, and if y'all remember that this is one of the things that Bernie fought to have changed last time, because I mean it's just it completely screws up the system when you have super delegates being included on that first ballot. Yes, they're you can have people coming out, and a candidate winning that voting, but with those super delegates, the media is allowed to just then go and claim a whole different type of narrative when they can count those super delegates along with the pledged delegates. So that is a real big problem for us going forward. But I mean, the thing about it is, this is what we knew we were up against. I mean, if I just make an analogy here. I mean, I watch a lot of boxing, and what it amounts to is, to a large extent, this is a fixed fight. and we have to recognize that. And in boxing, when there's a situation where a fight could be fixed by the judges, that means that, you as a fighter cannot leave things up to their hands. You have to make a statement. You have to not just win on points, you have to knock out your opponent. And that's the situation that we're in. And our only real recourse to this kind of stuff, this structural stuff, is we have to make statement victories in these states. They have to be big time wins and just overwhelm the electorate to the point where it's out of their hands. And really, with how things are shaping up with the odds and overall with the primary, we are in a position to do that. We really are. So it's not something that we can't overcome. But we have to recognize that this process is not something that's going to be. They're not just going to give Bernie the nomination. It's not going to work like that. Even if we're in control, even if we're surging and we're winning states, and it looks like we're the odds-on front runner, they're not just going to give Bernie the nomination. This is something that we have to take from them, and we have the movement and the energy and everything that we need behind us in order to do that.